Hello and welcome back to mysticgenmara.com. I am Abe and I am here to do the Earth sign reading for the month of March, and the Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So this is a reading that will look at the guide for each week of March. There's 5 weeks, so you'll have 5 guides. There'll be a message from source for each week, and then we will also do a challenge or lesson that needs to be worked on for that week. And this is looking at the energy as a whole for the elemental earth people that are here. It can be a rising sign, it could be your sun sign, which is what most people go by, or your moon sign, which is more specific to the date. So, with that being said, I read intuitively, so the message that comes through may not be the message that is associated with the card normally, especially when we're talking with the tarot, but that's how I work. So, as long as that's cool with you, I have a small desk beside me, so I have to set my cards over there, working on getting bigger and better things, but we got to start somewhere, right? So, for Earth, for the first week of March 2022, the first week of March 2022 for Earth. All of our Earth signs. Okay. So for your first week of March, and my weeks run Sunday through Saturday is how I count this. Your first week of March for your Earth signs, your guide is the Black Dragon. Cocoons you so that your divine potential can grow. So what that's saying for your first week of March, the guide that's working with you is actually going to help hold you close, protect you, so that the world outside's not as much, can't affect you as much. It's a time for you to really start to tap into your spirituality and your spiritual side, and that can be in the form of maybe starting a prayer journal or starting a meditation practice, or if you already are doing those, maybe increase the time that you spend working with it each day. So the Black Dragon is really guiding you inside, and so through this first week of March, you can tap into that energy to help you work with the inner parts of who you are. Your message from Source is your intuition, and what this means, there it is that this is a time for you to really start tapping into that intuitive aspect of yourself. Being an Earth sign, you tend to not use intuition because it's more water and air energy, but being fully grounded in your body, you sometimes need to tap into that higher aspect of yourself. So you're going in, the dragon that's protecting you is helping you so that you can focus on that inner self and that inner world. And with your intuitive side coming forward, this is something that comes from within, but it's your connection to Source, but it allows you to interact with the world around you in a much more broader sense. So your lesson or challenge for the week is the Hanged Man. So these all are going together very, very nicely, because the Hanged Man is saying, look at things from a different perspective. Instead of looking at just what's physical, what's right here in front of you, maybe use your intuition and step outside of yourself and see something that may not be normally open to you. This whole week is about tapping into those inner aspects of yourself, bringing maybe your inner gifts forward, and using your intuitive states to see things from a different perspective. So that first week of March is very clearly working inside to affect the outside world. So the second week of March 2022 for our Earth signs, and I draw the cards as I go so that I can stay focused on the energy that we are working with versus drawing them beforehand. And because I personally don't like to draw the cards before I'm actually doing the videos or with my clients. So it's just easier to tap directly into the energy you're working with. And the lesson. Okay. So for your second week of March, Earth signs, is the Gold and Silver Violet Flame Dragon. This is a dragon that transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. So whenever an alchemical dragon like this comes forward, it's a time of shifting things that maybe aren't working in their current form and elevating them into a higher state. So what this is saying is that things that are not working for you, this dragon is coming in on the second week of March to help you shift into this higher frequency, help you transmute or change maybe a bad habit into a better one, to develop a different pattern in your life, or to fix something that is good here but could be great in the near future. So using this dragon as a way to help you elevate that energy and shift your direction into a higher state. Your message from Source is legends. Learn from those who inspire you. And so even if it's, let's see if I can get the light not to reflect on it. Sorry, I will have to get better lighting. One of those things on the list. But with legends, what it's saying is learn from those who inspire you. You're using this dragon energy to shift and to transmute your life into a better state, better form, maybe shifting bad habits into good. Look to legends of people in the past who have done this themselves. Read up on maybe like someone like Nicholas and Pernell Flamel, who are some of the most notorious alchemists out there, but they're associated more so with Harry Potter, but they have a broader history than that. Or maybe even looking at someone like the Merlin, and look to those legends, look to the past. If you follow a more Christian path, look to people like Moses, look to people who had great things and did great things, but they had to overcome challenges. And this is the message from Source for this week, the second week of March, Earth signs, is to look to those who you want to emulate. Look to the people you want to transmute from where you're at into something along those lines. We can't live another person's life, but we can move into a state where we are more in line with that person's energy. Then your challenge for this second week of March is the Knight of Swords. Swords are associated with air, which is your, which is associated with your opposite air. But the challenge with this is if you're charging forward in something that you're working on right now, it's time to slow it up a little bit, because you can go too fast, too far, and you can actually damage yourself or another person. But using your intellect and tapping into that higher state of knowledge and wisdom is what the lesson of this week is. So you've got the gold and silver violet flame dragon who's here to help you transmute and move into a higher state. You're looking at legends of mythological or historical people who you want to get better for, how you can step into that. And your lesson is go forward, get moving, but don't go too fast so that you trip and fall. But even if you do, understand that when you trip and fall, you still are learning and you're still moving forward. So it's just more of a cautionary notice at that point. So now we're looking at the third week of March 2022 for Earth. That card about jumped out of my hands. So that's usually a good sign. The message from Source for the third week of March, and a lesson or challenge that we can work on Earth signs for the third week of March. Okay. So your guide for this third week of March for all of the Earth signs out there is the Deep Blue Dragon, keeping you safe by clearing your path. So what that's saying is the dragon that's coming up for this third week of March, the deep blue is the darker the shade of blue, the more it lines up with justice, law, and protection. So this one being a deep blue dragon, this is a very strong protective dragon for you. It's going to help you work through some of your emotional issues. It's going to help you clear out things that would normally cause you a lot of distress, but it's here to protect and guide you. So if you start working on something during this third week of March and you suddenly start having anxiety, panic, that monkey mind voice starts getting really obnoxious, you can tap into the deep blue dragon energy, ask Source to guide you, and move that away so that you can do your project and not have to worry about what other people are thinking, what other issues are coming up. But it's also for physical protection. So if you have, like, if you're driving or traveling during that third week, tapping into this energy is a good way to keep you in a more safe and grounded state. The message from Source is to cheer up and live in the moment. Yeah, my camera. What cheer up means with this for the message this week is if you've been feeling a little bit more heavy, a little bit more stuck to earth, which is a situation that goes with earth signs, the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy tends to be more planted. this is saying it's okay. You can laugh, relax. It doesn't matter what else is going on in the world. Find humor in it. And so for this third week of March, the message from Source is find a reason to giggle, find a reason to laugh, even if it's at a joke that you made up and no one else is even understanding it. That's fine. You laugh and make yourself happy. So the message for this third week is to find a reason to be happy. You have the deep blue dragon who's your protector, your guardian for that week. And the message is find a way to be happy, stay in a more cheerful state if that's possible for you. And it's always possible. It's a matter of shifting our perspectives. So your lesson for the week is the Six of Chalices. Chalices are associated with water energy. And so, anyway, there it is. So that energy is more emotional. So your struggle for this week is to not fall into a depressed state. Don't lock yourself away from the world. It's a way to step into your challenge for the week is to find a way to be happy and to step into that higher self. The thing that you're going to run into is during this third week, you're going to want to isolate. You're going to want to pull away. You're going to feel emotionally raw. And you've got the deep blue dragon who's there to protect you. And the message from Source is, I'm here to help you. Source is here to help you cheer up and find a reason to be happy. So the lesson and the struggle for that week is you're going to be feeling a little bit more down, quite possibly. But Source is there to help comfort you, and you have the deep blue dragon to guide you. So now we're moving on to the fourth week of March for the Earth signs 2022. And the message from Source for Earth signs for March 2022. And the Earth sign energy of a lesson or a challenge for March of 2022. So your fourth guide for the week of the fourth week of March 2022, Earth signs, is the Archangel Gabriel's dragon, bringing purification and peace. So what this dragon is going to do, it's here to help you cleanse and purify. You've had a rough week in the third week. This week, it's all about clearing out the negative and moving into a higher state. The Archangel Gabriel is all about your emotional states and your emotional healing. So, and it's water energy, which works very well with earth energy. So using Archangel Gabriel to help you heal and recover from the previous week, which may have been a little bit rough, just tapping into that and using the diamond, which allows you to clear out this nonsense and be able to see what's good and what's bad, is a way for you to move forward. So this dragon is here to help you clear out the negative, work through any issues that may have come up, and to move forward into a higher state. The message from Source is the dove, and this is to take a leap of faith. So sometimes you might be feeling a little bit more struggly, a little more stressed, but with Archangel Gabriel's dragon with you, you are here to take that leap of faith into, I can do this, I am happy, I am at peace, and I will move into this higher frequency and this higher state. But being an earth sign, you want to see the path ahead of you. You want to see that next step. What this is saying is, you don't need to see the next step. Have faith and trust in Source, however you see it, and move forward. You don't have to look at your feet every day that you walk. You're looking up. You're looking like ahead. So what this is saying is trust the path, trust the message, and trust your guides and the people in your world that are for your best interests. Some people are for your best interests, some are not, so you'll have to be selective in that respect. But this is saying to step forward in faith and trust in the divine plan. So your challenge or lesson for this fourth week of March 2022 is the Five of Swords. So once again, we're working with the opposite energy of your sign because swords are associated with the air energy. So this is going to be something that's more of an intellectual challenge for you. The Five of Swords is being too truthful and being too hurtful with how you bring up that truth. So what this is saying is that it is a time for you to maybe reevaluate how you respond to those around you. Instead of coming forward with your very grounded, very stable, you're going to put your 2 cents in because that's just how it's going to be. maybe let it go. It's not an option at this point to always have to be involved. It's the time for maybe separating yourself from the harsher people in your world. And it could be you being harsh or someone else being harsh to you, but this is a period to step away from that. The brutal truth that cutting away the nonsense till it hurts, this week is going to be very, very sensitive for you. So it's a good time to step away from being that brutally honest, or if you have a friend who's brutally honest, this is a time to step back from them so that you're not being emotionally or sometimes physically injured by being in that situation. So now we're on to the 5th week of March 2022 for the Earth signs, and the message from Source for the 5th week of March. And the message or challenge for the 5th week of March for Earth Signs 2022. There we go. So your guide for this last week of March is going to be the white gold dragon from Lyra, connecting you to the Christ light energy. So what this one is saying is you've had an interesting month. You've had some ups, you've had some downs. What this dragon is coming forward to say is, I am here to help you connect to your higher self, to connect to that soul star chakra, which is just about 6 inches above your crown chakra. And it's helping you bring in that divine energy from the heart of the Creator. The Christ name is actually a title. It's like Doctor, Professor, Mr., Mrs. So the Christ consciousness is a higher frequency. It's a tapping into that higher self. It used to be called the Holy Guardian Angel, but it's that type of an energy. So it's very high frequency. So this dragon is here to help you reconnect, because you're never separated from it. We just tend to ignore it or blind ourselves. Dragon is coming forward to reconnect you to that higher aspect of who you are. So this 5th week of March is all about reconnecting with your higher frequency, and you have the white gold dragon from Lyra coming in to help you reconnect. So your message from Source is confrontation. Well, confrontation can be good or bad. It just depends on the situation. What the message from Source is, though, for this week is to pick your battles, and if it's not something that you feel very strongly passionate about that affects you personally, just walk away. Source has your back. Source is going to guide you through this, and what it's saying is confrontation is not always necessary for growth. It does help sometimes to help bump you into that higher state, but it's not necessary. So if things are getting a little bit more confrontational and you are not feeling the passion to be in that situation, but you're feeling like it could get there where you're being attacked almost, walk away and don't start anything. So if someone's bringing something up and you're not involved in that conversation or you're not involved in that situation, just don't get involved is what's being said for this 5th week. Now, your lesson or challenge for the 5th week of March is the 4 of Swords. The air energy is very strong for this reading for you Earth signs. So just be aware that there's a little bit of conflict and you need to find the balance. And that's what this is trying to say. The 4 of Swords is an intellectual struggle is what's coming through. It's not so much an outward assault on you. It's something that's coming from your inside. It could be the monkey mind telling your subconscious nonsense. It could be a warring back and forth amongst people in your intellectual circle. But what it's saying is find a way to not be in that war state. Tapping into the non-confrontational period, that's the message from Source. You don't want to just be in a fight to be in a fight. It doesn't matter what it is, just that's unnecessary. You have the white gold dragon who's coming forward saying, pick your battles, don't get involved if it doesn't affect you directly. And it's the white gold dragon can actually help you stay in a more neutral state and keep you in a balance where I could get into that fight, but is that going to help me in any way, shape, or form? And if the answer is no, then you need to walk away from that fight. So I hope that this reading resonates for the air signs out there, or for the, not air signs, earth signs. And I hope this works. And if you would like to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video, I'd really appreciate that. And other than that, I will talk to you guys very soon.